Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Evolution. Let's Talk Evolution is a podcast where we discuss cutting-edge technological change in the industry and in the global ecosystem. I think recently we've been primarily focusing on the impact of AI, AI adoption, generative AI, and that being the hot topic at the moment, discussing with senior leaders in large institutions, AI startups, in how they're seeing the future and seeing the impact of the products they're building and the opportunities that AI creates. So today I'm delighted to be joined by three leaders within the field. Jiri Pik, who's the founder and CEO of Hedge, it's a cloud-native research and trading infrastructure company serving primarily hedge funds and asset managers. And Ernest Chan, who's the founder and CEO of PredictNow.ai, a machine learning SaaS consultancy for risk management, with a long history and one of the first employees of the Morgan Stanley AI lab at Origination Point. And Jared Broad, who's the founder and CEO of QuantConnect, which is a platform serving people designing and trading quantitative investment strategies with a background in quantitative finance and bioscience. So really happy to be joined by all three of you. Obviously, we've planned kind of a couple of questions to run through today, but as I say, AI is the hot topic at the moment, so feel free to take it in any direction that you want. I guess first off, it would be great just to do some brief introductions. So, Jiri, do you want to kick off?
Thank you so much. My name is Jiri Pik. I am the CEO of Hedge. I'm one of the co-authors of the book Hands-on AI Trading with QuantConnect and AWS. The book is essentially a compendium of all up-to-date, most used AI techniques in quantitative trading and portfolio management. We share complete source code with explanation of over 20 trading strategies. And my co-authors are Ernest Chan and Jared Broad, who are here as well.
Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you, Jake. I'm Ernest Chan. I am the founder of PredictNow.ai, which uses AI for risk management and portfolio optimization, among other things, for asset management firms. So I have been, really passionate about AI since I joined IBM's language modeling group back in the 90s. We call that the small language modeling group, as opposed to the large language modeling group that OpenAI and Google is using these days. But nevertheless, I have been, watching the development of AI since the very early days, and continue to be amazed by the field.
Yeah, I'm Jared Broad, the founder and CEO of QuantConnect. We serve about 50,000 quants a month on a website where you can write Python and run backtest strategies and see how they perform, and then do live trading through your brokerage with them. And the community always pushing for us to be using the cutting edge stuff. So we've been using traditional AI for 10 years now in providing those services to the cloud. And now with the advent of LLMs, we're trying to aggressively adopt them for the users and for the technology that we're serving. So it's really fun. It's all very cutting edge stuff. So yeah, it's a brand new fluid AI world. So
fantastic. Yeah. So as I say, we'll jump straight in with the questions that we kind of identified being the kind of highest points of interest for people, but do feel free to take it in any direction you want. So the first question is, how can hedge funds practically integrate AI into their portfolio management workflows? Jiri, do you want to start with that?
It's a great question. First of all, we need to define what is AI. In the modern world, some people believe that ChatGPT or generative AI is AI. It's much more complex. Generative AI, the way we view AI, is essentially amplifier. It's an amplifier of your abilities, if you know how to use it. In how to integrate into portfolio management process, to start with the answer is essentially to break down the entire portfolio management process. First of all, AI is extremely good at processing huge amount of data. Therefore, it's perfect for identification of failing ideas, finding patterns, or summarizing reports. Absolutely perfect. But then we also need to look into other fields of portfolio management, such as risk management. AI is extremely good at, for example, at scenario planning, scenario analysis. It can very quickly generate thousands of strategies and identify how the strategy scenarios, identify which strategy would perform best in which scenarios. Then AI is also extremely good at support as a amplifier of your coding abilities. Tools like GitHub Copilot and so on. Also, we need to separate AI from pure computing. For example, cloud computing is a key part of enabler of AI, but it's a slightly different topic. To make most of the AI, one needs to have a very good understanding of all the tools, all the frameworks upon which AI is building upon. So it is cloud computing. Then it is also the theory, which is being used in AI. Then it is also data management. Data is critical for portfolio management, and then analysis and frameworks to be used. Ernie?
Yeah, I think I think Jiri covers almost all the bases. I want to pick up two of the themes that he mentioned. One is risk management. So obviously risk management is every large asset manager is concerned about. But traditional risk management is essentially a one-size-fits-all approach. They look at the strategy and they run all kind of simulation and say, okay, well, the value at risk is this much, or the conditional value at risk is this much. But that is a very sort of coarse-grained number that they typically come up with. With AI, what we can do is provide what we call a regime-based risk management. We look at the world as it is now, not on average, but today's is what's the level of inflation, what's the level of interest rate, where's the oil price, how is the oil price changes compared to last month, are there hidden risk anywhere, every corner of the market or in the economy. We use all this information to decide what is the risk to your particular portfolio. So it's a very specific kind of risk that we can discern using all the variables that we have at hand. That is completely different from the traditional risk management that people say, oh, let's run a simulation and you can probably lose 10% at worst. Well, we don't know if that 10% is applicable in this environment or is in an environment that is completely different from today. So that's 10% is a meaningless number, you might say. Similar with optimization. Many in the traditional optimization, whether it's portfolio optimization or parameter optimization, we optimize the parameters on average. Let's say your portfolio is best to allocate more to gold and less to stocks, let's say. Well, that's on average. That does not mean that in the current environment that is the best, right? So again, optimization has to be adaptive to the regime of the world, of the market, of the economy, and so forth. And AI has the ability to provide this kind of adaptive, regime-specific optimization. So I think it really is crucial if you want to go beyond the traditional methods.
We come at it from a slightly different angle to Jiri and Ernie, talking specifically about the latest Gen AI and LLMs and models. Effectively, what Jiri's saying is like breaking it up. Any traditional job, whether it's portfolio management or hedge funds, is just breaking up the task into all the discrete things that you do on that journey, and then understanding the LLM's limitations. So LLMs are great at solving specific things in a very narrow, focused way, but they can't really just do sweeping, massive things end to end and keep a concurrent train of thought. So they're also not really great at math or anything practical that needs deterministic code and reproducibility. So you break those things out. So you break out the problems into little problem chunks, and then you break out the things that need deterministic processing, like calculate the covariance on this portfolio, or calculate the beta to the index. LLMs can't really do that, but you can do that with a simple few lines of Python. And then you package up all of that determinism into something they call an MCP, which is a tool that the LLMs can use. And then you just connect your MCP to the LLM. And so the LLMs now have a reliable way to go and calculate your covariance and your correlations. And then you can say, analyze this portfolio for correlations to the index. And so then the MCP can practically go and solve that problem for you. And that would be a specific agent or a specific bot that you'd create. You'd create the portfolio index correlation agent, and he would be there monitoring your portfolio correlations day in, day out, and solving that problem for you as a fund. And so you just break up whatever work you're doing into all the different tasks and things that you're doing, and then try and solve them one by one. And that's how we're approaching it. So we have thousands and thousands of live trading algorithms. Some people set up notifications to send themselves text messages when something's going on in their portfolio. Some people hire monitoring people that just monitor their portfolios for them and let them know about things. And so now we've built what we're calling a live monitoring agent, and it's got all the data piped into it. It's got news feeds piped into it. And this bot's pure job is to monitor this portfolio and the code that goes with it, and then analyze it for aberrations. Like, did something just happen in the stock market that's causing portfolios to tank, or am I particularly exposed to Apple? Looking at my holdings and looking at what the strategy should be doing. And so that's just one of the agents we're putting together. And I'm sure the same concept applies to all fund management companies.
Super interesting. We'll jump straight to the second question, but I'll come back to something that Jared mentioned in a second. What is the biggest challenge hedge funds face when adopting AI, and how can they overcome them? Jiri, do you want to take that?
I think there are a number of challenges. First one is cost. If AI depends on huge computing power, if you choose the wrong architecture, which is extremely easy on all clouds platform, then your bill is astronomical. Second key challenge is data quality and data availability. If you use wrong data for your models, then you get wrong answers. It's a piece of art to know which data to use and how to store it efficiently and where to store it. Third biggest challenge is the knowledge. Like, in order to make use of all the AI, all the latest technologies, it requires particular mindset. You need to be always curious, always learning new things, because every week there is new technology, there is something new. And be able to, also it's a mindset of courage. You need to be able to fail safely and to learn from the experience. Ernie?
Yes, when we speak to institutional clients in asset managers, I think oftentimes the top concern is the sort of the black box nature of AI, and they don't want to delegate their decisions to something that they don't understand. It's oftentimes the complaint. But actually, there are many ways where one can add explainability and interpretability to AI. For example, you can ask the decision system to display to rank what are the important inputs that you use to make that decision. That's kind of fairly standard for AI system. It's not difficult to extract that information. Or you can approximate how an AI system makes certain decision by a fairly simple model locally, right? I mean, let's say if you are in a particular regime in the market, and you say, well, what if inflation increases a little bit by 1%? How would the decision be affected? How would you buy this stock, more of this stock, or less of that stock? That kind of local decision can be, linearized sort of model of what an AI system how an AI system make decision can be very revealing of sort of what kind of decision it will make for you in a particular regime. Now, of course, if you say what happened if you're in a different regime, well, you can also ask AI to look for a regime in the past that is similar to what is today, and then ask the same question. So there is actually, in my mind, a fair amount of transparency in a lot of the AI system that we can afford to extract. There is also a different problem with adopting AI. Actually, there's another way of adopting AI is that you do not have to use the AI system to replace your human decision making. You can use it to enhance or correct the errors that a human makes. So that is our point of view. We call that corrective AI. We don't ask the AI system to decide whether we should make this trade, but we would ask the AI system to tell us what's the probability that this trade we make is going to be profitable. Now, if you find that it has a high probability of success, you might invest your full amount. If you feel that the probability of success of profit is quite mediocre, you might reduce your size of this trade. So that is sort of a augmented intelligence, or what we call corrective AI. And that is easier for a lot of portfolio managers to adopt because it doesn't take away decision making for them. In fact, it provides more information to assist their decision making.
Right.
We try to think of AI as a building block, but not as something really to expose. I think it's probably just like a fad, everybody talking about AI. So, for example, the live monitoring bot that I was just talking about, you would never know that it's powered by AI. It'll just send you an email saying, hey, alert, there's something going wrong in your portfolio. Like an analyst wrote it and drafted it and is warning you about an upcoming event or something happening in the markets. But there's no like shiny, this is AI, click here thing to it. So we try to, in terms of like getting people to adopt AI within companies, perhaps people should be thinking more about how to work in with people's normal workflows. They should just be hiding the fact that it's AI, and they should just be using AI to glue things together that previously needed a human to do the gluing. But if you're trying to use AI to do math, as I was saying before, it won't work, and it's a bad application of it. And so you shouldn't be trying to change technology to fit that box. But really, where it's this glue or a different interfaces or something that needs a rough decision, that's where it really shines and is able to put the pieces together. But I fully agree with Jiri's comment that cost is a major impact. It's really expensive right now, but I believe that'll go down dramatically over the next couple of years. And now that they're launching these inference chips, it'll also go down. There's lots of providers that are doing inference on the models, and it'll drive the costs way down. So for us at the moment, the biggest challenge has been like onboarding AI is that they change so fast that they keep breaking their own APIs. Like you'll onboard something and a week later it'll just stop working and nobody said anything. And there's a random issue in GitHub and it's got 2 votes on it. And it's just like the whole thing broke and nobody's talking about it because it's just so bleeding edge right now. So it's really hard to use it in production without like people watching it like a hawk and getting alerts real time and things start breaking. So yeah, that's our current struggle. We're just trying our best to deploy it. But as soon as you do, it breaks and then we get bug reports and it just makes everything look unstable and fragile. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that all those points are super interesting. I think cost and reliability is obviously the forefront of any CEO's mindset at the moment. It kind of jumps into the third question. So how can AI adoption transform performance and culture within investment teams?
First of all, AI allows you to process much more information. My job is dramatically different from 3 years ago. I am essentially more strategizing. So all my tasks are more higher level. because I am essentially designing strategy. I'm telling AI or LLMs what I want to do on a higher level, and then I leave the details to be worked out by the LLMs. So I'm able to achieve much more because I am looking at the more long-term vision, what needs to be done. This is first thing. Second of all, AI allows greater efficiency because I'm able to process more information and I'm able to get things done much quicker. All my efforts are much more productive. The third thing is that because of all the information processed, all the computing power, I'm able to, and the quality of decision making, the returns are, I would say, in general, higher in most strategies I've seen in the last 5 years. Ernie?
Yes, I think that as my focus, as I mentioned, my focus is on risk management and optimization. So, AI really took us to the next level with respect to these two important areas of, portfolio management and asset management. So, I believe that this is in no way taking away from the power or the expertise of the portfolio manager, but it is really protecting them from making mistakes, protecting them from big losses under certain circumstances, and also optimization by its very nature enhances what they do. Again, on a adaptive basis. So I think there is no reason whatsoever why portfolio manager would be stuck in the the old ways of doing things when you have all these tools available today.
Yeah, we just rolled out it's called Agentic MCP. So it's just the LLMs just recurse and ask question after question and think and move on to the next step, and then empowering that with the ability to use QuantConnect, like write code, run back tests, read the back tests, analyze the results, improve the strategy, debug runtime errors, that sort of thing. And the impact of productivity is insane. So you can, in about 15, 20 minutes, you can just run through one strategy, test it, run another one, improve it, add an option overlay, rebuild balance portfolio, test 10 different ideas. And it just isn't lazy. It knows everything. It's 90% correct. And, when it gets it wrong, it goes and fixes it. I can see the role of the portfolio manager or the desk manager who has a team of quant developers transforming quite dramatically. So you can have a team of AI quant developers running off and executing your ideas, coding up strategies, building portfolios, testing them, doing all of this very, very quickly, very efficient. So it's going to be quite a dramatic change to the industry. The knowledge barrier to go and code and implement those ideas is huge right now, and LLMs just obliterate the knowledge barrier. So it's just this is what I need to do. Go do it.
So I'm experimenting myself at the moment with initially with Replit, and now I've upgraded to Cursor, and it's amazing what you can build. And I think specifically upskilling in trading and kind of quantitative theories, just on the basis of the clients that we're working at the moment, just so we're not kind of flying blind. But Jiri mentioned the book that you guys have written, Hands-on AI Trading, and I thought just to end, it'd be great just to understand a little bit more about why you wrote that and kind of who it's aimed at, because I've started reading it and flicking through the pages. Before starting reading it properly, some of it is over my head. I'm not a portfolio manager myself, but I think reading it's super interesting, and I'd just be keen to understand kind of why you decided to write it and then who it was aimed at.
Thank you so much for the question. The book was started because we identified a gap. When we started writing the book, there was no single book which collected all the latest AI technologies in trading. So, and the available books at the time, or even now, they spend half of the text on building infrastructure, like how to import market data, how to do 2+2 in Python, and so on. And then these books lack any detail in how to implement particular strategies, AI strategies, and how to interpret them. Our book is different. Our book is aiming at teaching intuition, how to use AI, the latest AI technologies in practice. To do so, we have implemented over 20 strategies in full code, which one can run immediately on FunConnect. And the beauty of FunConnect is that it abstracts from you the need to set up all the infrastructure. You know, like AI trading is beautiful, but if you look at it from the big picture, the AI algorithm is just a very small portion. The biggest part of the system is getting market data, being able to execute them, being able to interpret the results, and drawing insights. Unless you use tools like FunConnect or have a similar system, you spend too much time doing that. And you know, the more code you write, the more bugs there are. So we use FunConnect in order for the readers to be able to experiment with strategies right away. The readers are encouraged to play with the strategies, to modify them, to try different assets, to modify patterns, modify parameters, and to see how the algorithms actually behave. The book is organized in an increasing level of difficulty. Meaning, if you start from the first algorithm and you proceed one by one to the last one, you should master all the relevant algorithms in the modern AI trading. And in practical world, what we recommend is to use the ideas from each of the algorithms and combine them together. Any?
Well, I think that you know, when Jiri asked me to collaborate on this book with Jared and others, I thought that it's a great channel for putting together everything I have done, you know, in the prior 3 or 4 years in AI together in one place, so that you know, it provide a sort of a comprehensive and you know, coverage of all these ideas that we have and all the work that we have done, you know, from the minutiae of features engineering. And so a lot of people thought that, well, you know, why do we have to study AI when you have standard algorithms? You know, everything has a library. You want to do neural network, there's a library, PyTorch, you have TensorFlow. You want to do tree-based algorithm, there is scikit-learn, there's LightGPT. But why bother to even learn about AI when you can just plug in a library? Well, it turns out that one of the key success factors in AI is the input. You know, the model itself is pretty generic. You know, people have done it. They are all encoded in libraries. But how do you engineer the input to solve your particular problem? That we found to be consuming a major part of our time. And so we wrote about all the minutiae of features engineering as an input to our AI system and so forth. So all the components from the beginning to end, I feel that I have now an opportunity to describe in this book. So I'm very, you know, happy that we get the chance to do that.
Yeah, me too. I love how we took it from basically, you know, the foundations of the market all the way through to you know, the latest in Gen AI. We've got all these practical examples in the book that you don't need to worry about all the data, as Jiri was saying. We hear so much that just people want tangible things. They learn through examples, they learn through doing, and so many books are just not actual fun projects to do. So this provided a way for us to provide really engaging, fun projects. And we don't just apply AI for price prediction. We're applying it all over the place. Lots of different styles of data going into it. So it's quite a diverse application as well for the book.
Fantastic. So when we publish the podcast, we'll include a link to the book, because I think it's very relevant at the moment to a lot of organizations looking at, you know, practical strategies I guess just to finish off, and this doesn't necessarily have to be angled at hedge funds or asset managers, but AI is the buzzword at the moment. I think, most people would agree that in the future, having some sort of capability as an individual in either understanding practical implementation or using AI on a day-to-day basis is going to become necessary to remain relevant in the majority of professions. Just in one sentence each, if you had one piece of advice for people who are concerned or anxious about the rise of AI and how they personally can kind of make sure they're not left behind. Just in one sentence, what's one piece of advice each of you would give to people who are concerned about that?
AI is certainly an amplifier of your abilities, but the key skill in the modern world is judgment and critical thinking. Because if you use AI, with a very AI returns to you a very generic or average answer. You need to know exactly how to specify, how to be specific, and how to evaluate if the answer from AI is valuable and correct. So it's all about building critical judgment.
Well, to me, AI, we only use AI to augment a human ability. We never use it to replace a human. And I think we are far from the day where it can actually completely replace a human anyway. So I see all positive and no negative in the way we use AI.
I see AI, the same skills that you need to manage and harness and deploy AI effectively are the same skills as managing people. You could have a brilliant PhD person sitting next to you, but if you just say, do the work, they're going to say, what work? Where? When? How do I do it? So it's just about really clarifying your thoughts about exactly what you want, providing people in AI a step-by-step list of exactly what they need to do to achieve those goals, and then how you expect them to evaluate the results, what output you need and what data you need for it. And then AI or your work or your job or your project shines and you can do great. So it's just really thinking hard. It's not just sort of outsourcing thinking. You really need to think hard about the inputs too.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's all super valuable advice. And I think kind of experimenting with it is something that I've found, just experimenting with some of the tools, using it for, experimentation purposes on a day-to-day basis. It's remarkable how quickly you can upskill yourself. And I think one of my friends terms it just do AI. And I think it's remarkable the number of people that I speak to in the nicest possible way who are strategic leaders and often, global head of AI. And my question is, oh, great, like how many agents have you built? And the answer is none. It's like, okay, well, and everyone's kind of obsessing about people, behavioral change, strategy, structure of organizations and organizational design, without actually just experimenting by building your own agent. And I think that can be quite a valuable thing to do. Thank you, all three of you. It's been fantastic. I think some super interesting topics and concepts that we've covered. This has been Let's Talk Evolution. Jared, thank you very much. Ernie, Jiri, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
And we'll catch up soon.